Every time you come back to New Zealand and visit places like this in Fiordland, you appreciate just how special it is, how valuable it is, how irreplaceable it is, and why it's got to be protected. Somebody's got to be the spokesperson for the values, and as an ecologist, as an academic ecologist, unconstrained by government policy, I've been able to do that and do it, I think, with some success. Government had already signed up legally to maximise the exploitation of these lakes without any assessment, any appreciation of the values. The engineers said they could raise the level of the lake any amount that was engineeringly possible and restore the status quo. In fact, their comments initially were that when they managed the lake and raised the level of the lake, they would improve on nature. The Save Manapouri campaign was nationwide. Campaign committees were set up, I think, in 19 different centres around New Zealand, and there was general concern. Forest and Bird Society distributed a petition against lake raising. There were 260,000 signatures on that at the time, 10% of the population, the largest by far of any petition to that date. The 1972 election was critical for the lakes, but critical for my future. If in fact the Labor government, the Labor Party had not been elected to government in 1972 and the national government had been returned, my reputation would have been just about spent. We made them see sense, I think, in integrating some conservation values, which clearly were here. They were recognised in the national park. It's now a World Heritage Area. I mean, it's top in the world in terms of its recognition and appreciation for its natural, for its heritage values. We've integrated successfully here, I think, the conservation values with the development values, and I think that's, to me, very satisfying. The Manapouri issue was a major turning point, I think, in many ways for this country. Out of Manapouri came the Resource Management Act, sustainable management of our resources. Out of Manapouri came the Freedom of Information Act, the fact that these issues should not be shrouded in government secrecy. It needs to be an open debate. Environmental impact reporting, assessing the impacts of your proposal. That was not a requirement in our day, but it is a requirement now. So there have been some major changes in the way government addresses issues of the day, which I attribute largely to the concerns people had, government eventually had, over the Manapouri Te Anau issue.